Ancient civilizations feared foolishness more than enemies. Because enemies attack from outside, foolishness destroys from within. Kingdoms did not collapse merely because of invading armies. They collapsed because people stopped recognizing patterns, stopped guarding their thoughts, stopped choosing their paths carefully. The book of Proverbs is not merely advice, it is psychological architecture, a blueprint for navigating reality without becoming consumed by it. Why did ancient people speak constantly about roads, gates, speech, traps, and direction? Because they believed consciousness itself could become lost. Welcome to Code of Scripture. This afternoon, we decode Proverbs not as moral sayings, but as an operating manual for the human mind. Modern society treats wisdom like information. Ancient civilizations did not. To the ancients, wisdom was structure, invisible architecture that stabilized civilization itself. Without wisdom, emotion overrides judgment, impulse overrides foresight, desire overrides restraint, and systems collapse. This is why Proverbs constantly returns to construction imagery. Foundations, paths, houses, gates, walls, pillars. The ancients believed consciousness was something built. Every decision added another stone. Every habit shaped another corridor. Every repeated thought became another pathway through the mind. The question was never, "Are you intelligent?" The question was, "What are you building inside yourself?" One of the strangest recurring figures in Proverbs is the simple man, not evil, not monstrous, simply unaware. He follows impulse, he drifts toward distraction, he mistakes pleasure for wisdom, noise for truth, confidence for understanding. The simple man does not recognize traps until he is already inside them. This archetype feels disturbingly modern. Algorithms reward impulsiveness. Advertisements manipulate desire. Platforms monetize distraction. The machine survives through fractured attention. And Proverbs repeatedly warns, a mind without discipline becomes easy to direct. The ancients understood what controls attention, controls direction. Proverbs speaks obsessively about the tongue, words creating life, words creating destruction. Modern people often underestimate speech because language feels ordinary. Ancient civilizations did not. To them, speech shaped reality itself. A lie could destabilize a kingdom. A whisper could start a war. A wise word could prevent collapse. This is why Proverbs warns repeatedly against gossip, reckless speech, manipulation, verbal corruption, because language programs consciousness. The machine understands this perfectly. Modern civilization floods humanity with slogans, outrage, advertising, repetition, emotional triggers, words engineered to bypass reflection. Proverbs counters this by teaching restraint, not silence from weakness, silence from awareness. The book of Proverbs constantly describes reality as pathways. One road leads toward wisdom, another toward destruction. At first, the roads appear similar. This is the terrifying part. Destructive paths rarely announce themselves immediately. They begin subtly, one compromise, one distraction, one impulsive decision, one ignored warning. Over time, small directions become entire destinies. Ancient civilizations understood. Humans are navigational creatures. The soul is always moving somewhere. And every system fights to influence the direction of that movement. The machine builds roads too. Consumption, addiction, outrage, endless stimulation. Proverbs asks, who designed the path you are walking? Perhaps the strangest aspect of Proverbs is that wisdom becomes personified. Wisdom speaks like an entity, calling from the streets, standing at the gates, warning humanity repeatedly. This transforms wisdom from abstract philosophy into something almost alive. Ancient consciousness believed truth was not passive. It called out constantly, but most people ignored it because distraction was louder. This idea becomes deeply unsettling in modern civilization, because humanity now lives surrounded by synthetic voices, notifications, algorithms, feeds, advertisements, endless signals competing for attention, and beneath all the noise, wisdom still whispers quietly. The problem is not that wisdom disappeared. The problem is that humanity lost the ability to hear it. One phrase appears constantly throughout Proverbs: "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom." Modern readers often misunderstand this. Ancient fear did not merely mean terror. It meant awareness of scale, recognition that reality is larger than the ego. The wise person understands they do not control everything. They are vulnerable to deception. Consciousness can drift. Perception can become corrupted. This humility protects the mind from arrogance, and arrogance, according to Proverbs, is one of the fastest paths toward destruction. Because arrogant minds stop questioning themselves, the machine rewards this constantly. Certainty, performance, ego, instant reaction. Wisdom moves slower. It observes before speaking. At its core, Proverbs teaches something astonishing. Civilization survives only when consciousness learns how to navigate correctly. Wisdom was not designed merely to create successful individuals. It was designed to prevent collective collapse. The ancients understood. Foolish societies destroy themselves. Impulsive cultures become unstable. Distracted minds become controllable. And once enough people lose discernment, systems of extraction emerge naturally. Proverbs was attempting to preserve psychological sovereignty, not through force, through awareness. The book of Proverbs may secretly preserve one of humanity's oldest warnings. A civilization does not fall the moment enemies appear. It falls the moment people lose the ability to distinguish wisdom from noise, direction from distraction, truth from manipulation. The collapse begins internally first, in thought, in speech, in attention, and perhaps wisdom was never merely knowledge. Perhaps wisdom was the architecture that kept consciousness from fracturing under chaos. This has been a code of scripture, and perhaps the ancients repeated these warnings for one simple reason: because once the mind loses its path, the machine is always waiting to provide another one.